Alright. Alright, so, yeah, I probably should get started. So hey everybody, Blood Moon Bobby here. First of all, I apologize for starting the stream a bit late. Had to do, some things that took a little, longer than expected. But here I am, here to talk about Disney's D23 announcements. So yesterday, I saw that they made a whole bunch of announcements, especially relating to their upcoming animated films as well as live action remakes, and a certain a movie that blends live action and CG. You could probably already guess what I'm referring to, Disenchanted. So they revealed either more details about those projects or completely new projects that I'll also be talking about in the stream. I am aware that D23 is still going on as we speak, so I was actually kind of surprised to wake up today and still see that Disney had even more announcements. Like today, as you can see on the screen, they're talking about a lot of Marvel projects, like you're seeing Fantastic Four. But for this stream, because I'm mostly like I usually talk about Disney and Pixar's animated movies, as well as some of their live action ones. I'm gonna focus mostly on the ones from Disney and Pixar. If you do see an announcement from Marvel that really gets you excited, I feel really happy for you. I'm sure it's going to be really awesome. Although when it comes to Fantastic Four, I've heard the movie adaptations that have come out, especially the last one from Fox, have not been very good. But I am hoping that maybe this time under Disney it could be better. But anyway, I might just kind of very quickly mention the Marvel projects. I don't follow Marvel very closely. I've only seen like a couple of the MCU movies, but if there's something that does catch my eye, I'll very quickly mention it. I hope I don't come off as very rushed today. I've got another stream going on in about an hour from now, so I hope I could finish this stream within like the next 30 minutes. And if they do make even more announcements tomorrow, then I'll make arrangements. Especially if it's it's a part of the movies or shows that I've been talking about. But for today, let's just go with the announcements that Disney has put out so far. So as I mentioned, Fantastic Four coming out November 8th, 2024. I haven't seen the or really any Fantastic Four movie. I just know that the Fantastic Four movies up to this point have been on a very rocky road, especially the last one that Fox did right before Disney acquired them. So I hope this new one, is going to be pretty good. And if you're a Fantastic Four fan, I really wish the best for you. Okay, so keep going. Okay, Armor Wars with Don Cheadle, Werewolf by Night. So again, I don't follow the MCU very closely, so I'm just kind of very quickly going through their announcements. Mandalorian's next season starts streaming in 2023. I'm really trying not to stay on. If there's like a trailer, I don't want to stay on it too long because I don't want YouTube to copy strike the video or something like that. They did announce, they did put out trailers for some of the movies that I've been talking about, like Disenchanted and the Little Mermaid remake. I'm not going to be going over those today, for the reasons that I just said, because I don't want, YouTube to copy strike the stream. So yeah, new poster for the new Willow series coming November to Disney Plus. Yeah, I don't know too much about Willow. I've seen a couple trailers for the original movie. Oh, sorry. How do I stop it? Oh, yeah. Again, really trying. I was trying to pause the stream or the video down below, but I ended up doing the complete opposite anyway. So okay, Willow. Um, it's a whole bunch of animated projects, but I want to like talk about them like kind of case per case. So we'll get into those later on in the stream. And if you and let me know down below in the chat what you think of the announcements. So yeah, Pixar, Disenchanted. Okay. Okay, so this is like the first one I really wanted to talk about. So Wish, I heard about this yesterday, and as Disney says, quote, Walt Disney Animation Studios revealed a first look at Wish. There are all new animated feature film that explores how the iconic wishing star came to be, unquote. And then they have another one with some casting details. Quote, starring Ariana DeBose, I hope I'm saying the name correctly, as Asha, directed by Chris Buck of Frozen fame, and Fawn, Vera Sunthorn, I apologize if I mispronounced that, produced by Peter Del Vecchio. I've heard of this person before. I just don't know how to pronounce his name. And Juan Pablo Reyes, and featuring all new songs by Julia Michaels. Disney's Wish releases in November 2023. Admittedly, I was kind of cynical when I first heard of Wish. I was thinking, didn't the wishing star come from Pinocchio? But okay, I guess they're coming up with this whole new story. The artwork looks nice. I hope that Wish turns out pretty good. Chris Buck, one of the co-directors of Frozen. Hype aside, Frozen is legitimately one of my favorite Disney animated films. I just really enjoyed the story and the songs in that film. So I really hope that Wish turns out pretty good. I've liked a lot of the movies that came out of Walt Disney Animation Studios lately. Like I've reviewed, for instance, like Raya and the Last Dragon, and that was a pretty good movie. So yeah, so I wish the best for Wish. No pun intended. Okay, so another reminder to watch Strange World. I've done trailer reactions about this movie. Get lost in this very strange new look at Disney's Strange World and see the movie in theaters November 23rd, 2022. So yeah, if you haven't seen the trailer for Strange World, I highly recommend you watch it. It's a lot of fun. I really like how the trailer, it uses a lot of titles that seem to be inspired by like movie serials. It has kind of a similar vibe to Star Wars in terms of the on-screen text. Not exactly, but it's it's kind of the best example I could think of in modern day. So yeah, so if you're looking for that kind of movie serial vibe, I highly suggest watching that last trailer that was put out for Strange World. Okay, so moving on. This excitement, this is probably the one that excited me the most. Inside Out 2, mainly because I didn't expect Inside Out to get a sequel, but it is a movie where I could see ideas for a sequel. So as Disney puts it, quote, "Oh joy!" Nice pun. Amy Poehler is back to star in Inside Out 2, directed by Kelsey Mann, produced by Mark Nielsen, and written by Meg LeFauve. I hope I'm saying the name correctly. Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2 releases summer 2024, unquote. So yeah, that's awesome. Inside Out is really one of those movies that I think gets better the more I think about it. When I first saw the movie, I liked it. I had a good time watching the movie with my dad and sister. I think my only criticism of the movie was I wish they would have explored even more of, the world of Riley's mind and emotions. But when I look back on it, I'm kind of thinking, really? They did show a lot. Like the scene with the abstract bot, the scene with the dreams and like that kind of stuff, and of course, the really emotional scene where one of the characters kind of like fades away. I won't give away spoilers, but that's one of the most emotional scenes in the movie. So yeah, I'm really curious to see what they do with an Inside Out sequel. And I'm glad they are making one of it, since I did like the first movie. I was just not sure if they were going to make a sequel, but I could see potential for one. So, speaking of Pixar, we'll carry on to, how do you pronounce this one? Elio? Elio? I think I'll go with Elio. So, quote, "You're invited on Disney and Pixar's newest adventure, Elio. Meet Elio, a boy who finds himself transported across the galaxy and mistaken for the intergalactic ambassador for planet Earth." I could actually, unquote, I could see some like comedic potential, like with that idea, where they're like expecting all these answers, and or heroes like, "Ooh, what do I do? This is kind of crazy." Um, I hope they're not going for like some kind of liar revealed kind of thing, where it's like he plays along with it and then the characters find out, and they're like, shame on you and that kind of stuff. The liar revealed cliche, admittedly, it doesn't bother me too much. It's just I kind of roll my eyes when I hear about it. I guess because like I'm kind of used to. I mean, I guess the reason it doesn't bother me as much is just because like I've grown up watching couple movies that use that sort of cliche, like Chicken Run and A Bug's Life, and there were still things about those two movies that I liked enough, especially Chicken Run. So I hope they're not gonna go for like that typical lie revealed story where it's like, you could see where it's going, where like everybody's upset and then they turn around and trust the character again. So not saying that's where it's gonna go. We don't know that. I just hope that they're not going for that cliche. So in terms of the casting, quote, starring America Ferrera as Olga Solis, who I know from How to Train Your Dragon. I think that was the one who played Astrid, and Jonas Kibriab. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Directed by Adrian Molina and produced by Mary Alice Strum. Disney and Pixar's Elio lands in spring 2024. Unquote. So okay, so like basically a year and a half from now. So moving on. Okay, Elemental. It's kind of funny, but I'll save what I'm about to say for later in the stream. I think it's a quote, "Fire and water come together in this first look at Ember and Wade, played by Leah Lewis and Mamodo Afli." I hope I'm saying that correctly. From Disney and Pixar's Elemental, coming to theaters June 16th, 2023, unquote. Which, by the way, is 6 days after my birthday. So I remember talking about Elemental a while back when it was first announced, and just kind of being, I guess you could say, I mean, this sounds kind of bad, but cautiously optimistic. I mean, I hope that it's a good movie. It's just I'm trying to like kind of figure out, what's gonna make it really creative, because I get the sense that it's gonna be one of those movies about like characters that that live in a world where not everybody gets along, but some learn to live together pretty well. Not a bad idea to make a movie. Like, it's something that I would be supportive of. I just hope that it's not going to be like too predictable and too easy to guess and that kind of stuff. So that's really all I could say. But I guess that especially when it comes to Pixar, they're really good at like keeping the really, really good stuff about the movie and saving it for the movie and not giving away too much in the trailers. Yeah, because like come to think of it, I think of especially Soul for instance. I really liked how they kept the ending message out of the movies because that would have been a massive spoiler if they let out too much. So, not saying that there's gonna be like something as emotional as Soul, because that's like really difficult to top. I just hope that the story is creative, and that sort of thing. Um, I noticed the other day, I forgot which platform, I think it was Twitter, like some people were saying that Wade kind of looks like Osmosis Jones, which yeah, kind of. So I guess it's another one of those Pixar movies that like people are saying, oh, that's like some of the things, and they kind of remind me of Osmosis Jones because I heard that's how some people felt about Inside Out. I mean, but of course the stories were pretty different. Similarities in Inside Out, I could see like having a control panel where they get to see the outside world, and the dream sequence, and even then the dream sequence scene, I kind of get why people say, oh, it's kind of like Inside Out, but the two are very like different. But I could see why some people would say like Wade kind of looks like Osmosis Jones, but I imagine the stories are gonna be like because of course Elemental, it's not about like a this like kind of police officer character in somebody's body that's trying to stop this deadly virus. Like it's a different story. So there's that. It's just that I hope it's going to be more creative than what I'm expecting. So, and they also showed off this new poster for Elemental. So again, the movie comes out June 16th, 2023. Okay, next up is Little Mermaid, and I gotta stop the trailer because I don't want to get a copy struck. So, hey, two announcements in one. Okay, so yeah, Little Mermaid. Yeah, I still remember the movie getting announced. Um, what more can I say? I did listen to. I watched a couple music videos from the actor who's going to be playing the lead, Halle Bailey. And I thought she had a really good singing voice. I just hope she has like she's a really good actor on top of singing really well. But the good news is Little Mermaid is one of those movies where I could see them doing a live action remake. It's certainly not like a Lion King case where it's like, what are you doing, Disney? But so yeah, I could see that. And the other thing too, when it comes to these live action remakes, I just hope that the Disney's Little Mermaid, especially because it's another remake of one of the Disney Renaissance musical movies. I hope it doesn't have that kind of rushed like kind of pace that their Beauty and the Beast remake had. I mean, I think that remake it's not as awful as like some people say it is, but one of the things I didn't like about the movie was the musical numbers kind of had that kind of like sort of rush, like, get through the checklist kind of vibe. So I really hope that they don't do that. I hope they have a lot of fun with the musical scenes. So if you want to see me do a trailer reaction for The Little Mermaid, I'd be more than happy to do that, so let me know. Yeah, so there's actually a couple trailers that I could see myself doing trailer reactions on, especially since I've been talking about the Little Mermaid remake quite a bit. So I hope it's good. I like the singing voice of Halle Bailey. It's really hard for me to confuse her with Halle Berry, but yeah. So I hope this remake turns out good. Kind of curious to know. I have like I know one of the cosplayers that I personally know, Heather, I know, really loves the Little Mermaid. So I'd be kind of curious to know what she thinks of this upcoming movie. So yeah, go follow Red Velvet Cosplay. She, is really good at making cosplays. So next one, I heard about this one too a while ago. The Snow White movie, Disney Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler from West Side Story and Gal Gadot, of course, Wonder Woman, releasing 2024. I do hope that this one turns out pretty good too. I mean, Really, my biggest criticism of the Disney live action remakes that I have seen is just that they kind of feel unnecessary. I mean, maybe necessary in the eyes of Disney executives, but in terms of movies, I'm just like, do they really have to work on these? But I wish the best for Snow White. Cause the ones I have seen, like Lion King and what's the other one I was talking about? Beauty and the Beast. It's not that they're awful movies. It's just that they don't top the movies that they're based on. The other ones I have seen, Cinderella is probably one of the better ones. I liked how with Cinderella, it wasn't just like kind of like just copy and paste from the animated Disney film. Kenneth Branagh really, like took it in his own direction, so I really liked that. I think the one Disney live action remake, not to keep bashing this movie, it's just I hope Disney doesn't, repeat this mistake, was the Mulan live action remake, because I thought that the acting was really soulless, and also a lot of the changes they made just felt really unnecessary. So I hope that these upcoming remakes don't have that problem. Next one, this is the next one I'm gonna talk about. Is probably the announcement where is the one that made me the most skeptical. And that is Mufasa, the Lion King. Mostly, well, actually, let me back up a second. And talk about the Lion King remake, which I thought that one was okay. I would take the Lion King if you could even call it a live action remake, but the remake of the Lion King, I think that it's a better movie than the Beauty and the Beast remake. But the problem I have, even though the realistic CG in the remake is really impressive, don't get me wrong, the problem with going all realistic in a movie like The Lion King is it takes away a lot of the, really, kind of expressive nature of the animated movie, because they're trying to keep it realistic. They can't have like really like creative musical numbers that the animated one had, with things like song sequences like I just can't wait to be king or be prepared. So yeah, but even then, I still thought as a remake it's okay. I think probably the best actor in the remake was Chiwetel Ejiofor as Scar. I loved his performance as Scar. That's probably my favorite aspect of the remake. And I do really, really like Mufasa as a character, don't get me wrong. I think he was a wonderful father to Simba. And of course, his death scene is like, one of the most tragic in Disney history. It's just that as a character, I'm just like, do I really is it necessary that, like, I need to know Mufasa's backstory, that it warrants like an entire movie and that kind of thing? I know in the animated movie, Mufasa makes a reference to his own father. Like, there's a scene, where he and Simba are hanging out among the stars, and I think it was Mufasa who says that, my father told me, when you're feeling lost, look at the stars, and the kings of the past, will guide you in spirit. So, so it's just one of those remakes where I'm just like, even more like more I'm even more skeptical and just wondering, is this really necessary? But I don't know. I'd still probably check it out. Comes out in 2024. It's just that I'm really kind of questioning, because there is technically an idea where, yeah, I could see maybe, like Mufasa, like maybe we'll get to see things like, what younger Scar was like, or what Mufasa's father was like. So there are ideas. It's just I'm not really sure if it can be done in a very creative way. Okay, just taking a sip of my coffee and then moving on to Peter Pan and Wendy. This remake, I would say I'm reasonably excited for. Quote, just revealed at D23 Expo. Check out the new poster for Peter Pan and Wendy, streaming in 2023, only on Disney Plus. I hope there isn't really much that I could say. I just hope that, this one turns out pretty good. Okay, next one here. Stop it before. Don't want to get copy struck. Okay, next one, Disenchanted. Which I would say I'm reasonably excited for. Comes out on November 24th on Disney Plus, which is kind of close to Thanksgiving in the US. So I have a kind of funny story about the first Enchanted, because it came out at a time where I thought that it was uncool to like Disney, where it's like, it's the company with all the princess movies. Why should I, as a 12-year-old, care? But I think it was a good example of me not understanding satire, because in that movie, when I first saw the movie, I didn't pick up on how it's supposed to be like a satire of the Disney fairy tale movies, especially the ones from like, think of like the ones from like the 30s and 50s, like the Snow Whites and Sleeping Beauties. So I didn't quite get that. I had a kind of similar experience to like, when the first time I watched South Park, where I just didn't get that it was satire and took it too seriously. So but yeah, it's a movie that like I've grown to appreciate, multiple times watching. I know that like my dad especially seems to be the one in my family that really likes the original Enchanted the most. I know that he thinks that Amy Adams is a really good actor. So yeah, I'm interested in checking out Disenchanted. Admittedly, a part of me is kind of cringing because I remember, my first time watching the original Enchanted. But it's the kind of thing where I'm reminding myself, oh yeah, it's supposed to be like satirical. It's playing up a lot of the kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Motifs from the earlier Disney fairy tale films. Yeah, so I hope this one turns out pretty good as well. Admittedly, I was kind of wondering because in the original Enchanted, it was like the beginning was animated, the ending sort of was, and the middle was that kind of mix of live action and animation. So I was wondering maybe for the sequel, for this movie, if they were going to like swap it around where there's bits of live action, but it was mostly going to be animated. But from what I can tell, it seems like they're sticking with that formula where for the most part it's a live action movie. So not that it's a bad thing. It's just kind of what I wasn't expecting. So I do hope for the best for this new movie. I hope that the songs are really good. I think that because in the first movie, I don't know about this one, but the first movie they got Alan Menken and Steven Schwartz to write the songs, which those two, that's my favorite, all time favorite Disney musical kind of team up, I guess you could say. They were the same two that came up with the songs for The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Now, of course, in Enchant, the songs are not like nearly as heavy as the ones in Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like they're still like good. I still remember a lot of them, like the Happy Working song. Um, I forgot. I don't know the exact name of this. There was another song that goes something like, how do you know? I think the one that would technically be considered my favorite is So Close. The slow dance song. I still listen to So Close like every once in a while. So I hope that the story in this new one is pretty good. The songs are pretty good too. Which, by the way, I thought this was kind of an interesting thing. My dad pointed out, like he thought that there were a couple scenes in Enchanted that seemed to be inspired by another musical movie, Sound of Music, because in Enchanted there's like one of the scenes you see that the lead character Giselle, Amy Adams' character, makes clothes by like cutting the curtains, kind of like what Maria did in The Sound of Music. And there's also another scene where she's running up a hill, and it's kind of like the scene in The Sound of Music when Maria, like, does the twirl and sings "The Hills Are Alive" with The Sound of Music. So I think, I mean, but that's like a thing that I like when it comes to, like, analyzing film. When you make those kind of, like, when you can make those kind of connections, not in a way to say, oh, they ripped off like Sound of Music, but in that kind of sense where you kind of get a sense that, hey, maybe the director was inspired by this classic movie and that kind of stuff. So I really like when people make those kind of comparisons, when I do watch those movies on, like, or watch those, like, YouTube videos analyzing movies. It's kind of like when I watched this YouTube video that analyzed Blade Runner, and they made all these kind of comparisons saying, hey, this shot looks like something out of Shanghai Express or The Maltese Falcon or Taxi Driver and that kind of stuff. So, continuing on, admittedly, I'm getting kind of panicky because, like, I said that I have to go and, like, do another stream later on. So Hocus Pocus 2, I haven't seen the first one, so I can't really comment on this new one. I just know that there's a lot of people excited for the sequel to Hocus Pocus. So I don't know, I think that might be it as far as, like, announcements that I could really talk about. Let's see if there are some more. Not really. On a side note, I heard about the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. I was really sad to hear about that. My family has been keeping up with the British royal family for many years. So, yeah, I think that's about it so far. Which is still pretty awesome. There's a good handful of interesting announcements to talk about. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna end things off here. Had a really good time talking about a lot of these announcements. I'm really looking forward to getting around to reviewing movies like Inside Out 2, Disenchanted, even the Little Mermaid remake. It's funny how for a second there I got, like, caught up on the Mufasa movie, which I'm still really skeptical of. I think that's, like, the one announcement where I'm just like, oh god, what are they doing? So I think I'll end things off here so that I could get ready to for my for another stream that I'm doing today. So if you're watching this after the stream is over, let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of the announcements Disney has made? Are you excited for any of them? Which announcement excited you the most? Leave all those thoughts down below. And until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you all.